Hi, everybody, and we're live. Round of applause, please. Yeah. All right, so tonight's a very special episode here at Speak Up Monday. Not only is it episode number 378, but it is let's call it an introduction to a wonderful, powerful event, a not-to-miss event happening right here in Bali on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of July. Now, this is the best AI conference for business in Indonesia, held right here in Bali. It will take place at Tropical Nomad for the launch on the 28th, followed by the Trans Resort Bali for more of a conference-style event on the 29th and 30th. Now, what you'll find is that, AI, as Bhavna, wonderful co-host here, has been chairing for the last 2 or 3, AI is something which will impact us all, one way or the other. And I think most of us understand that whether we like it or not, we need to understand it. We need to see which tools we can use that can help us to increase the power of our life, increase the power of our business, and so on. So this AI conference is tailor-made for business. If you're an entrepreneur here in Indonesia, if you're an entrepreneur living in Indonesia, you need to be at that conference because, we've amassed some of the best speakers in AI, best coaches in AI to come and teach you over that 3-day period all of the narrow verticals you need to have massive success in your business. All right, so I just want to repeat that. This is not a general AI conference. This is specifically devoted towards business and how you can maximize 5x, 10x, how you can walk in with an idea and then walk out with a business, right? Enhance using AI tools. So what we have tonight is going to be quite interesting. We're going to have 3 panels. So the first panel are some of the wonderful people behind the funding, which I'll go into in a minute, and the funding of powering this AI conference. The second one will be some of the speakers. We have Arthur, we have Maria, we have Bhavna up here as well, which will be able to give you some specific content and whet your appetite on why you should be there. And the third, and possibly the most important one, are our brothers, Sunny, Utama, and the crew from Media Independent Online. They have 1,000 media outlets, including TV stations, in Indonesia. And they're our strategic partner. We're going to have a great press conference around the 18th, I think it's going to be. And this is going to go nationwide. So you're going to meet all of their team, 4 of their team based here in Bali. Incredible people, because remember, this is always about what Speak Up Monday stands for, is unity and diversity. It's about how as foreigners, how as Indonesians can we work together, Gotong Royong, my brothers, right? How can we work together to co-elevate, right? And how do we work together to ensure that we all maximize, and each one of us, wherever we're from, we can share in some of the great, incredible projects that we can create to move us forward into the future. So that's what we have in store for tonight. It will be over an hour or so. And remember, you can always come and join us live here at Tropical Nomad. Every Monday, we go live at 6:30. And it's free to join. You can join our studio audience. We have a lovely audience tonight, as we usually do. So come and join us. If you can't make it, then join us online. So to get us started, we have up here, we have Anastasio, we have Wayne, we have Tina, and we have myself. So maybe the first thing, I think, I'll get Anastasio actually to talk us through it. So a little intro on each person, and then we'll go into, what is the funding? And then we'll go into the AI conference, why we're doing it, why it's important, and why you must come. So Anastasio, we'll start with you. We'll work our way towards Tina. A little brief intro into who you are, and then we'll get into what the funding is all about afterwards.
Hello. Yeah, so I came to Indonesia in 2006. Been in the mining industry for about a decade. From there, I started a couple of businesses in Indonesia, from oil and gas, bioenergy, some commodity trades, and so forth. Factories in Batam, Free Trade Zone. bioenergy facility in West Sumatra in Padang. Did some oil and gas projects in around Indonesia. Yeah, and also some commodity trading from poultry to agricultural products, etc. So I mean, I've been around in Indonesia for a long time, done quite a bit. And for the funding itself, I think the goal for the funding is to bring foreign talent and foreign investment to Indonesia, right? To promote and to develop entrepreneurship in Indonesia. And for the AI conference itself, yes, it's according to what our goals are, right? Is to bring, again, talent to Indonesia, to develop this country, and to develop entrepreneurship in this country.
Wonderful. And maybe as we go to Wayne, as you would have seen Wayne before, by the way, handsome fella, right? You would have seen Wayne before. And then Wayne, when you give a bit of background on yourself, and then take what Anastasia started and bring us a little bit more expanded into what the funding is doing, the 5 or 6 divisions.
You know, he does that knowing that I do not love to talk. I mean, you really can't even find me. But yeah, a little bit about myself. I guess you could task me as a serial entrepreneur, whatever that looks like. I love to lean into my curiosity. I love to build companies, especially when there's a need. And so about 4.5 years ago, I came to Indonesia. And during the pandemic, it kind of hit home. And I decided to create the funding. And now Anastasia and Robert are both partners. I mean, we are all partners here in the funding initiative. And what that is, you know, as Anastasia mentioned, is to use it as an instrument to further entrepreneurship in Indonesia. Having external investors or people who are interested in investing in Indonesia, give them a channel in which to do so. I have another project called Biomia, which is Indonesia's first and biggest B2B e-commerce marketplace that got launched and is doing quite well now. And yeah, I'm a part of the team and just want to support as much as we can. We do have, I think Rob wanted me to elaborate a little bit on it. We do have Upshift, we do have the association, we do have the events, we do have the podcast, and we do have the television show. And so we do feel like the old way of doing investing is old, and this is the new. I think when you talk about investing, it requires more than one tentacle. It should be a support system, as it is an entertainment system, as it is a nurturing system with mentorship and stuff like that. And we intend to provide that.
And you know, just to elaborate on what Wayne just said, so as he mentioned, I like to put him on the spot because out of all of us, he's the one who likes to speak the least, right? And probably do the most thinking, right? That whole iteration of ideas. And he's beautiful soul. Everyone up here has one. And with him, as you said, the funding he started because during COVID, you know, he realized he was coming to retire. He won't tell you this, but I'll tell you. He was coming to retire some successful exits in Silicon Valley, came to Indonesia to chill out, saw what was happening, and the humanitarian in him was like, well, I can give rice, but realized that wasn't enough. So then said, you know what, let's create a show, a bit like the Shark Tank. Who's seen a Shark Tank? Put your hand up. Yeah, good, everybody here. And, you know, where we can help to create a competition where entrepreneurs which were once working in a hotel and now are becoming kombucha entrepreneurs can come, can pitch their idea to win money. And those funds can then be plowed into the business to take it from startup to the next phase. That was the funding. That's where it was at first. Now, Biomia is a phenomenal business-to-business, well, I call it a marketplace, but I think he calls it WeCommerce from memory. I got that sort of right, I think. And so Biomia, so buy, B-U-Y, AMIA. So Buyamia or Buyamia.com. Check it out. It is phenomenal. And then obviously he mentioned about the different tentacles of the funding because, I guess this is a good way to maybe describe it. One pill doesn't work. Like you need to have the whole ecosystem supporting it for it to actually work. So these divisions of the funding include, as you mentioned, the TV show where we partner with Viking Sunset Studios, who are building the largest Hollywood studio here in Bali. And then the live event division, our sister Tina from Indonesia, she's going to tell you a bit about that in a minute, but she's my sister, and she heads up, this event division. Then we obviously had the podcast. We have this venture fund, which is two aspects: a venture fund and also venture building, which Anastasio is incredibly brilliant at. Okay, and then we have community, and there's a few other tentacles there as well that help to support everything and to validate everything as well, right? So that's the funding. So I'll let Tina introduce herself, and after that we'll get on to why the AI conference, why now, and why you should be there. So Tina, over to you.
Thanks very much, Rob. My name is Tina Ardi. My company is ProMotion Events. I've been running events on Bali and Indonesia and in Southeast Asia for the last 25 years. I moved here in 1996. I was 12 then, of course.
Last year.
That was last year. And I've been producing events of a conference nature, festival, concerts, got into weddings for a while, but decided that wasn't necessarily my alley. So I started doing events with a more conscious nature, and lately more tech-based events related to Web3, as well as now AI. So because this is such a hot topic right now, when they offered me, why don't you jump on board as our event producer, I said, definitely Rob, definitely Wayne, definitely Anastasio. I'd love to do this. This is a topic that is so current, so relevant at the moment, and especially for Indonesia. I'm Indonesian, and we're building this country right now economically, and the unity and diversity is really the basis for all the small and medium-sized enterprises that are coming up here. And with the support of many different associations that we're also setting up, like, I don't know if I can mention it, but the Indonesia Foreign Investment Association, which you guys will hear about later, and other associations that support networking as well as investment in Indonesia, are helping to build this sort of tentacles of the community here. So I'm really happy to be able to participate in that way. We're producing a conference that has never been done before here. As Rob mentioned, it's the first AI conference, but it's also the best AI conference held here in Bali. And that is because we have such a wide range of speakers, master classes, and other exciting things, such as panels that are happening that will address all the current topics of AI today. So really pleased to be here. Thank you, Rob.
Sister T, wonderful. Wonderful. So what we'll do is we'll have a few quick questions, and then pretty soon we'll get into the next panel. Going to keep this moving. So Anastasio, so to you, you've been in business for a long time at various levels of government and countries. So, why, if I asked you, why should people come to this AI conference, business conference, what would you say?
Well, AI came in really quick, right? And it's been changing a lot of, jobs and business opportunities, right? I think it's about efficiency, right? What it does also for, let's say, SMEs or entrepreneurs or startup entrepreneurs, it's, by embracing AI, you can actually do the work of many individuals. Let's say, example, for, let's say, content writing, right? Things can be done in just a few seconds or a few minutes, right? If you just have to know the prompt engineering for it, right? And there are so many other tools, let's say for design and so forth, that can help any business, from maybe SME aspiring entrepreneurs, right, to move on to the next level, right? And we feel that this is what Indonesia needs, right? The rest of the world is evolving together with this, right? And this is why we want to bring it to Indonesia.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Wayne, same question to you. Why should people, entrepreneurs, come to this conference 29 July?
Well, this conference and many more, and also, go in search of additional information, because I think that that will give them the necessary tools that they do need to progress into the future. And of course, AI, for me, this is just a starting point, but it's still a tool nonetheless. And I think that the quicker that a company or an individual can get on board to utilizing it as a tool, the better it is for themselves personally and for their company. So I think this conference will help to put a layer onto what they already have, give them a foundation. So if you have an idea, you want to come to see what AI can do to support your idea and turn that into a business. If you do have a business, how could you layer AI onto that business so that you can, one, be more productive, and also be a part of the evolution, right? And also to make money, because you're in business to make money, I would imagine. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. And just to add to that, and we're going to swap this panel out for the panel of speakers coming. Remember, we have the media at the end, so make sure you stay to watch, because these guys are phenomenal as well. So just remember, right, so this is very, very specific to business. It's not general, it's not broad, it's very specific to business. So I think from this week, you'll see everything, all the details posted on our website, and you'll see the 30 different categories, the different questions that we're answering. And we have either keynote speakers, or we have master classes, or we have breakout sessions that will deal with each of those topics individually. This is an event that you come to learn. You come ready to learn. You come with your computer, your laptop, you're sitting there like you're back at school, right? We're going to take you through exactly the steps that you need to do to have success in that particular area. So this is a very hands-on, a very content-based, value-based conference, okay? The first time it's been done here, and we're really looking forward to having you there. So if you want to know any more right now, you can go to the funding on Instagram, and that's pretty up to date. As I mentioned, the website will be coming soon with tickets and everything on sale and all the prices and so on. There's VIP tickets. You'll meet some of the sponsors tonight as well. So look out for that. And look, I mean, if you're curious and you have a specific question, then you can go to submit at the little minus sign, thefunding.com. So submit at the/funding.com, and you can ask any question there, and we'll be happy to get back to you. Also, through Instagram DM, you can let us know if you have a question there. But just keep in mind that what you see now are some of the Bali-based speakers, which are amazing. You're about to meet some of them. But what you will see in the next coming days and weeks are the other international speakers that we'll have beaming in. So look out for that, right? And remember, once the tickets go on sale, do not delay. If you're there at home and you're thinking about, this AI stuff, should I get involved? The answer is yes, you should, right? If you're there thinking, should I go to this? Stop thinking, just do it. It's moments like these, the people that you'll meet, which are other entrepreneurs, enthusiasts, and so on, it's the network, it's the knowledge, which is right there for you. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. Don't have FOMO, fear of missing out, right? Don't have that, like I know some of us did for, I think it was when blockchain was way up or crypto was way up. This is not either crypto or blockchain. But the point I'm trying to make is that there are those who sit on the fence and kind of think about making a move, and there are those who take action. Guess are the ones who succeed. So ones who take action. So when it comes online, when it comes live, take action. Do not delay. This is something that will impact not only your life in business, but your life in general. Though this one is focused on business. So before we say goodbye to our illustrious guest, and then we're going to switch it to the speakers, followed by the media. So Anastasio, Wayne, Sister T, is there anything else that's in your mind right now that you'd like to add feel free to pass or share that one on.
I just think we need to say we have some of the top experts gathered here in Bali. Bali's become such a hub for, digital nomadism. And here we are at Tropical Nomad, where it's sort of the epicenter of it in Canggu, amongst a few others, but definitely here. And it's just something that's, we have such a wide base of knowledge here that I agree with you. You need to jump on it now or you'll get left behind. One of the goals of this AI conference is to bring up the level of education of Indonesians in the AI world so that we can build better competitive businesses and gain that advantage not just for here but around the world globally. So as Bali's is on the stage for many things, this is one of them, and definitely don't just be part of the audience, participate. So thanks.
Thank you. And Anastasia or Wayne, anything else to add?
No.
A man of many words. No.
I'm surprised he actually talked at all.
You heard it here?
Yeah, I think also at the conference, we'll be also introducing each of the tentacles that Rob has been talking about, from the venture firm that is more into the investment of startup companies in Indonesia and the venture building part of it, the digital media side with, of course, the podcasts and channels and so forth. Also the TV show, right? I think we'll be having a short clip of our first pilot episode that was shot in the Conrad. Of course, also the introduction of the the Indonesia Foreign Investors Association, which the funding has inspired, right? So, in short, all of this is again to bring value to Indonesia for investment and talent, right?
Wonderful. Round of applause for this panel. Please go and grab a seat. Do not go anywhere. Great. Tina, you can sit at the end.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, now we'll get the speakers up. Arthur, Maria, Bhavna, come on up here. And there's Arthur. All right. Yeah, so this is the content piece. All right, so Bhav, you over here, my darling? Yeah. She is so used to hosting. So our sister Bhavna, as I mentioned before, is a co-host here at SpeakuP Monday, and then she was coming into her usual seat and realized, no, it's the wrong one. So we're just going to frame it up, Brother Guzman, to fit everybody in, because I think Bhavna isn't part of us at the moment. Yeah, we're working that one out. So I'm going to quick cough. There you go, off-camera cough. So what I would love to do now is these are some of the speakers and some of the hosts who you're going to find at the conference, to give you just a little bit of idea into some of the content, some of the people. Like I said, we've got, 8 speakers, about 8 masterclass. We have a lot, all right? So you're going to meet 2 of them who are the speakers. You're going to meet Bhavna, who, as I mentioned before, is an incredible co-host here at SpeakuP Monday. And yeah, so she'll be there as well, introducing and creating some links, perhaps doing some interviews with some of the delegates, some of the speakers, or some of the leaders at that conference. So let's start with, just sitting right next to me, he's been on the show, amazing fella, based here in Indonesia, in Bali. So Arthur, so if I can ask you to introduce yourself, maybe take a few minutes to give people a bit of background, and and then what are you doing in AI currently? That might be 5 minutes.
Wow, all right. So, okay, Arthur Kermasi, best-selling author and currently ranked as the world's #1 thought leader in organizational culture. What does that have to do with AI? Well, it didn't have anything to do with AI until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, when we started looking at the concept of taking business training to the next level. See, because, being in organizational culture development, all that stuff basically requires people development, right? Okay, so if you're going to develop people, well, you have to have some kind of ability to help them to basically be the best of who they can be. Here's the problem, though. You go to some trainings, and then you maybe had some stuff that go on, and then you think, wow, this training is really great. And then you go back to work, and a lot of it doesn't get implemented. right? And so you've got all these companies that spend tons of money on training and development. Actually, by 2030, the number is about 3 trillion. Okay? So, what's a better way? Well, consider this. Sometimes you basically are afraid to fail. Sometimes the psychology of not sure exactly what will work, what won't work, prevents you from actually taking action. Like those people sitting on the fence that you were just talking about just a moment ago, right? Yeah. Okay, and so what happens is now, imagine a metaverse, Wisdom City, where you can go inside and you can meet AIs that will not only help you to find the root cause of the exact problems, people-related problems that you might be having with your team, with your staff, with your company, but now that AI can generate scenarios within the metaverse that basically replicate the problems. Now, what does that do? Well, think about it, okay? You go in and you try to solve the problem. But what happens if you try to solve the problem when you don't really know how to do it?
Yeah, you make a mistake.
Exactly, you fail, right? And that's the thing, though. You're doing it in the metaverse and you're failing in the metaverse. And you know what happens when you fail in the metaverse?
Nothing.
Exactly, exactly, nothing happens. You get to start over and do it again. And then you've got an AI of some of the world's greatest thought leaders, like myself, and other people like Marshall Goldsmith, exactly, okay, John Mattone, okay, and a lot of other people who, you know, basically are new, but they've got really great ideas.
Right. So let me just summarize, right? So what you're saying is that you can, by using the metaverse and AI, you can test how you can respond and solve a problem in the metaverse,
right?
And then bring it outside with knowing exactly what to do.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? You've got these thought leaders. Yeah. Okay, you can choose. You can choose whoever you want to help you basically guide you to solve the problem. But every person, let's say you got 100 people taking the same concept of a course to solve the same problem. You got 100 different ways that that person individually is going to figure it out. And it's directly based on who they are rather than some content that you're giving them in some training course, okay? Which means it's a lot easier to implement. Why? Because you've already succeeded.
Got it.
And there you go. That's kind of the gist of it. Of course, you know, you've got all the HR onboarding and all the other really cool stuff that goes with it, and mental health, and, you know, the diversity and inclusion tests, all kinds of really cool stuff that you can do. AI-based metaverse.
Now, watching at home, try sitting next to him. So imagine seeing this beautiful man on stage at the AI conference delivering such potent and deep nuggets of wisdom for people to basically take and to use in the metaverse, in this particular case, right, and propel themselves forward. Now, I know you've got more to say, but I'm going to go to Maria, right? We're going to come back to you, and you're going to tell us then about the latest project that you're going to be launching. But let's go to Maria first. So, Maria, over to you. Introduce yourself, you know, a little bit about you, and, you know, what brought you to AI, and, yeah, what are you going to be talking about at the conference?
Yeah, thank you, Robert. Great to have all of you here with us and all of those online. My name is Maria Mattarelli, and my background is in IT project management consulting and working with a lot of companies, entrepreneurs up to Fortune 100 companies on how they can be more efficient, launch to market faster. And we're really seeing a lot of just an explosion of AI today in business. And one of the things that I've been noticing is that, you know, it's not that AI is going to take over what we do, because we still need human interaction, but there's a strategy behind it and how you apply it. And so what I'm excited to talk about at the conference is really how you can apply a Web3 strategy after using AI, whatever type of business you're in, and how you can better engage your customers, how you can build more of a community and have more fan engagement from anybody that's in your existing community. So not just how to use an AI tool, but how do you take then those AI tools and apply that as a strategy in your business. And that's something that's really exciting to see what's possible with all the technology here today.
Wonderful. Thank you, Maria. And so if we pass the mic to Sister Bhavna. So Bhavna, I think what would be really nice for you to share with people is, like the things that you've learnt from hosting the last 3 AI panels with Adrian Blackwood, who's somewhere in the US at the moment. Hi, Adrian. Right, Canada. Thank you very much indeed. And so Adrian has been a tremendous help, a great advisor for this conference, and he'll also be speaking. But so Bhavna, so what have you learned? Because there might be people out there who, aren't the big entrepreneurs, right, that you've seen that, Arthur and Maria have just kind of brought into the equation. There might be someone like an enthusiast, right, who's there thinking, I know I've got to get involved in this AI stuff, but I don't know what to do or how to do it or where I should even begin, right? So you started off, like as that person, yeah? So, you knew about AI, but being a storyteller and so on, marketing, I'm a storyteller. I don't necessarily know how to use AI effectively and efficiently that makes sense for me. And I think through these 3 panel topics and discussions, you've kind of realized, you know what? There are limitless things that I can do, and I know that I need to start now. So to those people which are on that same kind of trajectory of, not really knowing where to begin and kind of coming into it, please share some nuggets of wisdom on what you've learned over those past 3 and where you'd like to take it.
Sure. So as you all know, I am a co-host of Speak Up Monday, and for a portion of time, I was focusing more on the one-to-one sort of deep dive interviews. And then back in April, when ChatGPT was blowing up on all the news headlines, we were like, you know what, let's start talking about collective intelligence and what that looks like. And so Robert invited me to start hosting and moderating discussions around that. And my first thought, which was a fear, was I don't know anything about this. How am I going to have this conversation with people? How am I going to moderate this dialogue? And then I just started to get curious. And I think one of the biggest learnings is that everyone is learning. People are becoming experts for maybe a split second because it's changing so rapidly. So the more that we can get curious about it, embrace it as a tool that can help us move forward. It's not necessarily about AI replacing humans. It's about humans who use AI will replace humans who do not. So it's about how do we incorporate it, how do we use it to move our business forward, but also remember that what they don't have is a heart space. So ultimately for me, the biggest thing I learned having discussions around the present and future state, we talked about the moral compass, we talked about how to implement it, it really came down to dialogue, which is my area as a storyteller, is storytelling through dialogue, communications consulting, and I found that I didn't need to be an expert. I just had to be curious. And I think for anyone out there who is maybe scared because it's a big word with so many different areas, I would say just learn. And you can learn from people who are actually doing the work and applying it practically. And I think the more conversations we have around it and the more dialogue, the more we can humanize an area that is partially not human and make it something that we can work with. And I think that is something that everyone can take away who's coming to the conference, or like me, who's going to get to have those dialogues with the speakers and the panels and create those conversations.
Beautifully put. That's why she's a co-host. Mamma mia, and I'm getting little goose pimples here. Goosebumps. Sorry, she's calling goosebumps. Dante, later on we'll get the question. Yeah, I know you got one. So if we pass the microphone to Tina, you're going to see a lot of Tina, by the way. The next panel will be the media panel. Immediately after this, Sonny and the fellows, the brothers. I call you the Gotong Royong brothers. That's what you are, man. So they're going to be on next, and Tina's going to be doing a bit of translating as well. So that's going to be interesting. So Tina, like on this kind of topic of AI and what people can learn, why they should come. You've answered some of those questions, but I know that your mind has been stoked a little bit by some of the responses here. So what would you like to add?
I would just like to add that to what Bhavna said, it's really just something for everyone. There's no reason to feel like, oh, I'm not in the tech world, or I'm not tech savvy, or I don't know enough about it. It's for all levels. I myself also am just learning about AI. It's something recently that just, like you said, popped out in April. So the topics are moving so fast and developing so much that there's always something new to learn for everyone, not just people at the advanced advanced level or beginning or intermediate level. And especially if you haven't started using AI in your business, this is definitely the time to jump in. Even on just one masterclass, you have the ability to come in just as a day pass participant or as a masterclass participant, and you can just jump in and out as you like. So it's really not a full-time 3-day thing if you don't want it to be. Of course, we'd love for you to join and get the full spectrum of all the range of topics. We actually do have over 22 speakers. So that's quite a few, and there will be a wide variety and not as much overlap as Maria and I had spoken about, so that it'll be really specific to each speaker and their unique area of expertise.
And look, if you're just watching online and you're tuning in, so you're watching a Speak Up Money episode, this is all about the best AI conference for business in Indonesia, held right here in Bali. It's on the 28th, 29th and 30th of July. Go to the funding, and pretty soon, I think this week, tickets will go on sale. The website will be up, so you can find it there. Now, who you've got ahead of you is that we've got the wonderful Arthur Kamazi, Arturo, Maria, Bavna, obviously Tina. So what we're going to do now is that we'll spend just a few minutes talking about a few of the projects that we have coming up. Arthur, you're launching one. I'd love you to share. Maria, if there's anything you're launching, feel free. Then after that, what we're going to have Sonny and the brothers, right, from media, independent online, over 1,000 media outlets throughout Indonesia. They're our well, firstly, they're our brother. Then secondly, they're our strategic media partner. We're going to do a great press conference, 30 medias from all over the place. That will be around the 18th at the Social. And that's over here, the Social in Seminyak. So that's where that will take place. And yeah, so we're looking forward to working with you long term, because, I know that the funding is about how do we, work together, right? Bineka Tunggal Ika, my brothers, work together, right? To bring, to raise, to co-elevate, yeah? And I know that we're going to have a long relationship because you're involved in lots of entrepreneurial, Indonesian focused, and that's a sweet spot. So just to finish this part off, so this conference, that's why I said Bineka Tunggal Ika. It means unity and diversity. It's the motto of Indonesia. So what makes this conference special is that you will also see both Indonesians and foreigners learning together. Right? And there'll be some areas where you'll be working together. I'm not going to say any more than that. Don't want to spoil it. That's why you've got to come. So, Arthur, spend a couple of minutes telling people about this incredible project that you're launching. We'll do the same for you, Sister Maria, and we'll go from there.
All right. So, we are launching the Global Mentor Exchange, right? Now, if you are a trainer or you're a coach or a consultant, then the potential for your AI to be created and be inside of our metaverse helping people is, well, consider this. Imagine cloning yourself and all of your knowledge and keeping it safe through blockchain NFTs so that nobody can steal your IP, okay? And now imagine that you can rent yourself out for a week, a month, okay? Or you can even sell yourself for a lifetime and do that multiple times as much as you want. Okay? Now imagine that you are also an HR person, or you have a company and you want to solve your problems, and now you've got multiple coaches, trainers, consultants to choose from that can solve your problems based on their area of expertise. Now you combine all of that into the metaverse, and that's, well, basically what we have created, the Wisdom City Metaverse. And because we're also using blockchain, we're actually launching a pre-sale of our blockchain tokens that are associated with this metaverse on July 20th. So, okay, you can get on the waiting list. You can go to www.globalmentor.exchange, okay? And there's a whole bunch of stuff on there. There's videos, there's the test that where I talk to myself as an AI, and except that it's kind of a younger version of me, not you got to be a little vain, right? So, and then of course, there's all this stuff on how it is literally going to change the face of learning and development, okay? Especially online.
Wonderful. Thank you, Arthur.
Over to you, Maria.
Maria.
Thank you, Arthur.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robert. So one of the projects I've been working with over the last year is actually developing a platform that will allow you as a creator, as an entrepreneur, to launch your own independent creator economy. It's leveraging NFT infrastructure in the background, and we actually did a launch at the end of last year where we launched Mission 1 NFT series, and we had 7,000 that we wanted to mint out. They were $100 each. We minted out all of them within 13, 14 days. That's over $700,000 brought in through that launch strategy. That's exactly the type of strategy I'll be talking about at the AI conference. How can you incentivize your audience, your community, to actually grow, to actually get incentivized, to have rewards and royalties from whatever it is that you want to give them as your community? And so it's not just about the AI. It's not just about art. It's not just about using it to create blog posts or words about your business. It's about being able to have a business strategy behind that that can bring in revenue. And so that's what I'm excited to share, because we were able to leverage AI tools in all of this. So I'm going to share how we did that, some strategies that you may be able to apply, and then also share how you can get early access to the platform.
Awesome.
Maria, you are just on fire. I got little goosebumps again.
Get me started, Robert.
Love it. God. Oh, it's not about winning, it's about contribution. So Sister Bhavna and Tina, now, if you have an AI project, great. If not, what is it that you would like to learn next using AI tools?
I think for me, it is about, as a communications consultant, there's an area that I feel very strongly, heart says passionate about, is my ability as a communicator. And so I'm curious as to how I can take tools and actually use that to amplify my message, how to monetize my message, and how I can help other entrepreneurs get the word out about who they are, shine that light, while applying with authenticity and emotionality AI tools.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Tina, over to you, my dear.
Just lastly, I guess as an event producer, organizer, and manager, I'd love to use AI to produce really great stage designs, to produce scripts that we need for all of our talent, to produce layouts and things that used to take a lot of time, and build, 3D, 4D, 5D models of things that my team can't currently do. So I'm looking forward to using AI tools to that kind of event management.
Wonderful. Thank you. Round of applause for this panel. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll let you guys go. You put that microphone down. That's good. And we'll have Sunny and crew. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Yes. All right. Mine the tripod. Mine that too. Yeah, that one. He made it. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So come on up. So we got one more. Where is he? Okay. We got one more. No, then Tina, just come and join us, and then we can take the other seat away. If you take the other seat away, that'd be great. Okay, cool. So as the other seat disappears and we reframe, so for those of you who have never been to Indonesia before, for those of you wondering why are we here, why is this called Speak Up Monday? Destination Indonesia. Why is it that this is now the 378th episode, and why is it that we will never stop, right? Okay, let me answer a few of those questions. So one is that, again, you may realize or you may know that my beloved, my partner in business, in life, in everything, Marina, if you're watching now, hello, my darling. Now, we met in Sydney 10 years ago. And about 6 years ago, we took ourselves, our two kids, half Indonesian, half Australian, and there'll be a little bit of English there eventually when we work it out. We came to Indonesia. And when I came to Bali for the second time with them, after about 2 weeks, I knew it was a place where I wanted to live. We went back to Australia. 3 months later, we moved. We sold everything and moved, right? That was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Since then, through doing this show, having the message of unity and diversity, right? People inspire people. In these wonderful seats, having incredible entrepreneurs and social impact leaders, stakeholders, being able to really connect, working with one of the king of Kerambatan, Erawan, if you're watching, is a brother, but so many Indonesians and so much knowledge and so many foreigners and so much knowledge. What I began to understand was that this is a very special place It's a very special nation. Not only does it have more than 17,000 islands, over 500 cultures, almost 300 million people, one of the youngest populations of early adopters of technology in the world, right? Not only that, has Indonesia will be, I think, the fourth largest economy within 5 to 10 years, right? So you're talking about a place that has such incredible culture and knowledge that it blew my mind. I've spoken already about Pancasila, the 5 guiding principles of Indonesia. I've spoken about Gotong Royong, this working together community to solve a problem, to solve a challenge. I've spoken about Trihita Karana, right, which is how do we, understand what our footprint is when we compare or we consider our actions on human to God, right? We consider our action on human to the environment, and we consider our action on human to human prosperity. Trihita Karana. There's so much here that it blows my mind, right? So when I say brothers, I feel a kindred connection, right, to brothers and sisters here in Indonesia, and I've learned so much. I continue to learn so much and meet some incredible people, right? So the last point about this is that the beauty is with platforms like this, Carol's going to be up here soon. Anyone who knows Carol, you can't wait for her. So the beautiful thing about a platform like this is that we get to share knowledge. We get to share experiences in such a way that those people who show up live get to participate. And those who are watching online get to see the types of people, the types of cultures, the types of prosperity, the types of projects which are happening here in Bali and Indonesia at large. And that is the whole point, right? It's unashamedly, unabashedly, it is a tourism promotion for Indonesia. That's what Speak Up Monday is. I love it. I will never stop. This is what I love to do, right? So, taking a bit of a breath, come down. So Sonny, I met, I think some years ago, and I kept seeing him around. You know when you go to these events, which are like limited events, I think one the president was at of Indonesia, another one, was Schmesko. I kept seeing this guy, and I'm like, hey, man, and he kept giving this beautiful smile that he has, and his glint in his eye, like cheeky, I'm like, man, I like that guy. There's something about him that just, And then when we were going through this exercise of sitting with Tina and the core crew of how can we ensure this conference is going to be a success, we were like, Sonny, I think I should call Sonny and I should bring him in. Now, I did do that, and Sonny came, and then, when you go these things which are heart-led, and then later you understand why you did it, it's like that. Because what this man and his beautiful crew of my Gotong Royong brothers are going to help us with is phenomenal. So, another breath. So what I'm going to do is ask our brother Sonny, right, and our brothers to introduce themselves, a little bit about what they're doing, and then Tina can translate at any point. Yeah. And yes, I want you to get a really good feel for what I already feel, and we would feel about this beautiful crew, media, independent online, 1,000 media outlets, including TV shows all over Indonesia. These guys are phenomenal. Brother Sonny, over to you.
Okay, before I'm starting, give big applause to my brother Roberts, please. All right. Well, guys, it's a very honor to us, to present in here as a media people, as a journalist, to work with you guys, especially. I like what Anastasio said, foreigners and Indonesians learning together, working together, and racing together. Isn't it right? All right, I like that. Okay. So that's why my name is Sonny Utama. I've been met my brother Robert few years ago, and then we just have a lot of busy time in separate, and then we met again. Bali is very small. And also I see my brother Arthur, King Arthur. Well, when Robert introduced Arthur to me, and Dante. I said, is this the guy that I have came to this house, place, castle 4 months ago, King Arthur? And then I said, are you Arthur? I'm very sorry because I'm worried that the wrong guy. He said, no, you don't see the wrong guy. This is me. All right. Okay. What I'm gonna say is Bali is very small. Whatever we do, everybody can hear it. Everybody can feel it. So take it positively. I'm just thinking we are here as a media independent online in Bali. I'm responsible for the Bali, and this is the chairman of the media independent online for Badung region. Name is Ketut. Yeah. Then our head office in Jakarta. We are the organizations of the media owners. Then we have over thousands media owners in Indonesia, which is our head office in Jakarta. Then, as I asked to my brother Robert, my sister Tina, and I said, okay, what is this about? And they talk about the good things, university, diversity, gotong royong, bhinneka tunggal ika, and okay, this is what we wanted. Thank you for the foreigners. Yeah, and I believe if we could go together, we can race together. Yeah, and we are, as a journalist, a media, will back you up from this time until to the daytime, the 28th, it's gonna be in here, 29th, 30th, in a Trans Hotel, and after that, probably we could also have another press conference, twice conference, before and after.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you very much, and I'm giving to Ketut, the region of Badung.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sony, Robert, and Tina. Let me introduce my name. My name is Ketut. I'm from MIO, Media Independent Online Indonesia. And the rest, I will take with bahasa.
Silakan, Pak. I will translate for you.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunities, Robert. Terima kasih sudah mengajak kami bergabung di AI yang luar biasa ini, dan semoga ke depan kita bisa saling mengisi seperti yang dibilang tadi, gotong royong. Nah, untuk yang menurut saya terima kasih sekali karena sudah mau membangun Bali, khususnya di bidang ekonomi.
Okay, in my opinion, I humbly thank you all for letting us be here and partner with you in this Gotong Royong community manner. We would like to go forward from this point forward and work together between Indonesians and foreigners rising up together, as Pak Sony said.
Sebagai awak media, kami akan membantu AI funding untuk menyuarakan ini ke masyarakat, tentunya kepada peserta dan hal yang terkait nanti tentang bisnis.
Okay, we would like to be the voice of this conference as well as of the Balinese people in terms of raising AI as part of our economic development and growth for the future.
Dan harapannya kami dari media dan sebagai Balinese people, semoga momen ini akan dimanfaatkan oleh UMKM kecil untuk grow up biar bisa mengikuti gerak perekonomian Bali secara menyeluruh.
We hope that we will take this opportunity to be able to raise the entrepreneurs in the small, medium-sized enterprise, and that we will be able to bring them forward with the Balinese people as part of the development of Bali.
At least sebagai masyarakat Bali, kami berterima kasih kepada EI Funding atas eksistensinya di Bali.
On the behalf of the Balinese people, we would like to thank the AI conference and the funding for letting us become involved in this and representing the Balinese people for this particular event.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Ketut. Mungkin ada
Sama-sama.
tambahan?
Itu aja, dan ke depan kami siap untuk itu tadi membantu AI funding untuk besar di Bali.
Okay, we are ready, he says. That's the bottom line. We are ready. All right, thank you, Ketut. Over to you, Rob.
Yeah. So look, Sonny, you also have access. You're part of quite a few entrepreneurial associations here in Indonesia and Bali as well. Obviously the funding is about, how do we support that? Yeah. How do we work together? So maybe for people who maybe don't understand, what would you say is one of the biggest challenges which is facing Indonesian entrepreneurs at a pre-seed level? What's the biggest challenge that they face to grow into success?
Beside as a journalist, I also the head of association of small medium enterprise for Bali region, called APD, Asosiasi Pengusaha Desa Indonesia, and then I have a look around over the Bali. Then there are two things about the small enterprise, medium enterprise in Indonesia. That's the most handicap, the most problem. One thing, they don't have enough capital, right? When they have a capital, they have a product, they don't know where to sell. No market, right? These two things included the farmer, our farmer, also our small medium enterprise. I believe that AI will also get the solutions for these by the capitals itself, and also by the open the market itself, and also last but not least, this is the most important also, how the coaching, do the coaching. This is what the AI do it. So that's why we're gonna back you up, guys. This is also our part of the job, isn't it right? And also, this part of the job also need your contributions, ladies and gentlemen, fellows, to come with us, to make it happen. Hopefully, this AI conference is not only one time, but it's gonna be the first. There are the second, third, and a sector, and etc. That's according to me. My brother Robert.
My brother, you nailed it. That was my next line.
Bisa saya tambahkan itu sedikit? Can I?
Yes, my brother, of course.
Hambatan utama itu menurut saya itu selain kapital tadi, itu bukan yang paling utama menurut saya. Asal di sini ada kemauan dan niat juga kan, niat, kemauan, terus kadang-kadang orang itu tidak bisa menghandle ketakutannya mereka sendiri. Nah, makanya
in my opinion, it's not necessarily just capital that's the challenge, but it's also the desire, will, and intention of the people to want to learn. However, sometimes there's a bit of a fear factor, like with all of us when we're learning new things, and that's probably very prevalent right now amongst the Balinese people and Indonesian people, not just Balinese, me too, and I'm from Jakarta, and it scares me. So there is a bit of a fear factor, but we hope that we can bridge that.
Look, what we'll do, because usually with Speak Up Monday, we have questions, right? I know today we've got 3 panels in one. We're at the hour mark. We've done it. We've done well, right? A few guys coming in now. But I think, and I'm feeling, because it's Sister Carol sitting in front of me, I'm feeling that we should get some questions. And I've got a feeling you got one for these fellas here. So Tina, if we grab that third mic, and maybe Ayu can come and grab it. Yeah, that's okay. You can slide it there. And there's it's okay. So if you have a question, if it's not you, Carol, it's okay. If you have a question, I know you had one, Dante, please just raise your hand. And remember, with these mics, just point it at your mouth, right? Not this, at your mouth, all right? Cool, okay. So it's coming, brother, it's coming. All right, we'll get it underneath there, through there, over there. So for those of you watching now, just coming in, grab a seat, guys, grab a seat. Yeah, you look beautiful, by the way. So what we do, you're talking now about the AI conference, the best AI conference in Indonesia for business, held here in Bali, the 28th, 29th, and 30th of July. It's called the AI conference, right? It's been powered by the funding. The funding is building one of the most comprehensive platforms, right? To underpin, to support, to co-elevate entrepreneurism here in Indonesia. 5 or 6 different divisions that we've spoken about already. And it's very powerful, but at the heart of it is gotong royong, right? Which basically means, we've used that word a lot tonight, is how do we work together to solve a big challenge, right? That's it. And that's the nature of why I love it here, right? Because Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, unity and diversity, it's all about that, right? And if you read, foreigners, if you're here, check out Pancasila as well, because when you, my Bahasa is pretty bad, I'm learning, but I've studied the depth of what it means to be here, right? And those things that we've spoken about is really important. So if you get the chance, make the chance, look them up, study them. When you do that, then you'll understand what it is here and how to interact with it in a way that you actually, your soul is filled. Right? That's what I find. Okay. Brother Dante, you have a question.
Yeah, I forgot who said it, said these specific words that I'm curious about what they mean by it, like AI morality or something like that.
Moral compass.
Or moral compass, moral compass.
Bav, get up here, darling. Yeah. All right, so musical chairs today. So Bhavna Pariha, co-host of SpeakuP Monday, beautiful, wonderful woman, incredibly potent storyteller, marketing. She's your woman. So she hosted 3 AI panels with some of the eminent AI experts here in Bali. One of them, Adrian Blackwood, who's somewhere in Canada right now, who we're communicating. The time zone's crazy, right? So Adrian has done incredible things in AI for many years, and also is one of our advisors for the conference. And so Bhavna's had the chance to spend some quality time going in on panels about just this. Right? So how would you answer that question? If you've forgotten the question, we'll ask him to ask it again.
Yeah, so you mentioned the morality in AI. So wondering if the question is, or if you could just frame what the question specifically, or are you trying to understand what that word and statement meant?
I'm trying to mean from at least what you mean, AI morality kind of
Sure.
Kind of makes sense, but AI moral compass.
So it was a question we had, kind of what was happening in the market at that time, and this was about May of this year, was you now had a general population that AI became part of their lingo and their everyday language, and especially people who maybe were in an older age demographic or younger were questioning, can AI have a heart? And how do we regulate things around racial bias that shows up in collective intelligence, in prejudice, things that have already been fed in? So we wanted to have a dialogue with Adrian Blackwood, who is an AI advisor, with Dr. Courtney, who is a neuroscientist. And we kind of had a debate and dialogue around is there a place for humanity with AI? So how do we as individuals, when we're feeding information on in the internet, what can we do to provide a more balanced information output that comes through? So the example was when someone would type in bride, what would be outputted would be an image of a female Caucasian in a wedding dress. It didn't take into account a bride of maybe Indian descent wearing a red sari. So these are the kind of questions we were talking about, also around AI and sexuality, people having relationships with robots. And so we were just having a debate and dialogue if there is a place for a moral compass within something that is largely technical.
Yeah. Or you could say like something that is like humanity is like at least what you're saying, right, is more like the emotional side, while you're trying to fit into something that uses logic. Yeah.
Exactly. So we were trying to debate emotions along with logic and science, and if there's a place for them to kind of work together and how we can implement that.
And I also do think like the other examples, like the first one with the bride, you could just like it's not really a big of a deal, but the other ones might could seriously cause some serious issues. So yeah. Yeah, it is. So. Huh?
Yeah. So we'll give the mic to Carol in a second. So look, just wondering if anyone else has. Thank you, Dante. Really appreciate you, brother. Does anyone else have a question? Wait a second before I go to Carol. We're going to put it back. So Arthur, if you grab that mic. Yeah. Pass it behind you to Nav. Yeah. Thank you, brother. And we'll get you after Carol. So Nav, over to you, my brother. Thank you.
Hi, my conference is more about the event. Yeah. A lot of people already use AI, and we do believe in AI, but there's also a concern about the AI disruption, and there are a lot of concerns. Do you think the panel discussions or the event will be able to shed some light about how it's a good thing? And there are some genuine concerns. We all want to talk about the good of AI, but will there be an actual, discussion about the disruption as well?
Wonderful. So, Bhavna, if I get Anastasio to pop in, and Bhavna, you can do a musical chair swap, right? And we'll answer that question. So thank you so much, Bhavna. They're always great to see. And you're going to see a lot more of Bhavna, not only here at SpeakuP Monday, but also at the AI conference and so on. And wonderful person, great speaker, great interviewer, mamma mia. So wait for her, Bhavna Parihar. Okay. Welcome, Anastasio, back. So, Brother Nav, so your question, just quickly phrase it again in case you didn't hear. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I pass the mic back quickly. Yeah. Just so people at home can actually hear it again. Yeah. That's the reason why.
Yeah, so the question is more about the event, that there is a concern about AI disruption. And as much as we all love AI, will there be an explanation about how it's a good tool and sort of, clear the doubts about the complete AI disruption of human workforce, and something on those lines is what I'm trying to ask.
Okay, this is just my opinion, right? I think we are far, far away from that happening, right? It's currently, I think what the tools are available with AI is to help, right? Especially, let's say, for the conference itself, we are all focused on the business part of it, right? How to make a business more efficient, how to bring it to the next level, right? So, I mean, like what you were saying, all that, I think we are far, far away from this at the moment.
So Nav, what we'll do, brother, is that once we get onto the website, you'll see these 30 different points. You'll see all of the panels and what they're discussing, because there will be some discursive conversation, around that, because it kind of comes with it. But as Anastasia said, the main focus and direction of this one isn't general. It's really specifically focused to business and those that affect that. Great question. Thank you as well, Dante. Sister Carol, you got the microphone in your hand, close to you. No, you're good? Yeah? If you don't have a question, it's okay.
Every time you start speaking about business and you detach business from people, it really scares me.
Got it.
Yeah? And building on to what King Arthur discussed with us, I'm Queen Guinevere. But the issue is that it's very difficult to imagine how you can have a conference that only speaks about business without taking in consideration that businesses are made of people. People have feelings, people have fears. Yes? And when you speak of application, or when you speak of taking models of, for example, coaching or teaching, and then replicating them into the metaverse, it's very attractive. It's very interesting. But a coach or a teacher, I was one for 20 years, is a person that has feelings and understands the feelings of their students. And if you don't account to that, you start creating a real issue. And AI, we know, doesn't have emotions for the moment. And when you start programming emotions. They are not emotions, they are just reactions. They don't exist in reality, they exist as programs. So my question is, when you're going to have this amazing conference, and again, I'm really repeating your question, is what space are you allocating to discussing these issues? Because you cannot detach a business from the people that make that business in the first place, because a business is an idea, it's a concept, it comes from feelings, it comes from identifying your problems, and clients relate to a business and to a problem with emotions. It's at the basis of absolutely everything that you do.
Wonderful. Arthur, so what we're going to do, we'll keep this, I'll do a quick response to that one. Then Arthur, then after that we'll come back to the panel, and then we'll close it for tonight, because we're just past the hour. I'd like to keep it tight. So basically, yeah, so with this conference, yes, so the focus is business, yeah? But what we will have, once it's published on the website, you'll see all of the different aspects of that business, some of which do involve people. So you'll see exactly which panel discussions we're having, who's going to be in them, what they're going to be talking about, and I think you'll find that some of your questions will be answered. Arthur.
All right, do I go up there, or do I just kind of sit here? What? Okay, I'll just kind of come here just because, you know.
You can't hold Arthur back. He's going to come up here. Come on, man, come up here.
Okay, well, first of all, I completely agree with you. Okay, people are the foundation. Okay, now here's the thing, though. Sorry. Okay, well, I just. All right. Okay, so what happens? Okay, besides all this AI stuff, I mean, my original claim to fame is the founder of the directive communication psychology. So it's a body of work that's basically the science of group dynamics. Okay. Every human problem, or every problem in performance in an organization, every problem in performance in an organization ultimately goes down to emotions. You're exactly right. Okay? The thing is that it's predictable. Okay? It is absolutely predictable. Okay? If you look at the science, okay, DC psychology, okay, look it up. It's cool. Okay? And what happens is that and literally, I mean, we go and we've done this for you know, huge companies. We can literally predict. You can have 7 people in a team. You can predict exactly if you take one person out, okay, the entire team will basically be an overperforming team, while if you take, say, for example, another and you put them inside, even though you have more people, you can have an underperforming team. And it's a completely predictable model, okay? So yes, I understand that emotions cannot be programmed into an AI, but the AI can understand the models of predictability that, for most, not all, because there are some people out there that don't fit the mold of the standard way of doing, of how things are. But remember that this is founded on, 17 years of research. Okay, including support from the neuroscience department of the University of Thailand, including thought leaders from all over the world. It's a real thing. It's predictable. We've done it. We have a 100% success rate on culture development because we know how to identify the people that are going to basically create the problems that are going to screw you up, and at the same time, just simply moving one person from one place to another can have a huge impact, and it's predictable.
I totally get that. What I don't understand is how AI deals with that one person.
With which?
Because it's easy to take a chess game and then to take a pawn out of the chess game in order to make sure that you win. What is of interest is what happens to that one person.
No, but see, that's the point. Each person, okay, at least in the global mentor exchange, okay, each person has their own way of doing things. You can't, and which means that their process, their way, okay, so for example, the brain's ambiguity relief process, how you get clarity. There's different processes, right? Okay, so how you approach something is going to be very different than how I approach something. So even though you may have the same problem, the thing is that the AI will help you to solve it in your individual way rather than some standard way, okay? But the thing is that the the models are still predictable. If you have 1,000 people, there's still going to be 1,000 ways of solving the problem, based on your own individual emotions, based on your own individual values, based on your own individual motivations, and even the genetic elements of how you get clarity. All of that is still you, okay? And you are an individual. You'll never be like anybody else, okay? But because the system can adapt to you as an individual and will show the reactions based on predictable models from NPCs, which are non-player characters, which form a scenario, then you have a model where literally it's almost like real life, okay? Where the NPCs will have the emotions and they'll kind of go, maybe scoff at you or maybe just get angry or maybe just kind of just be quiet, because you've got multiple situations that we've seen across. I've been in this business, you have too. You've seen what people do, okay? You may have some HR person that comes over to you and says, we need leadership training. And if you ask enough questions, you find out they don't need leadership training, they need something else. Well, because we've been in the industry and the people involved in this have also been in the industry, we know what questions we have to ask, we know how to find the root cause, and because we know that, we can put that into the AI, which will help to achieve the same thing.
Woo. Round of applause, mamma mia. Thank you, Arthur. Man, great question, Carol, as usual. I know you two are going to jam together after this. So just quickly, while we start to wrap up, so Carol over here, wonderful, beautiful woman, has an incredible story, will also be hosting 3 episodes. You can imagine what these episodes are going to be like. Have you seen her? They're going to be amazing, right? So look out for that. That one's coming. Back to the AI conference. Remember, if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to, okay, it's the best AI conference for business in Indonesia, being held right here in Bali on the 28th, 29 and 30. The 28th is a pitch battle, so we start here at Tropical Nomad. Whoever has seen a pitch battle is going to be exciting. It's going to be probably the first pitch battle in Bali, I don't know. But that's going to be very exciting. Then we go into the conference and we have, as Tina thankfully said, 22 speakers across 2 days. We're going to be masterclasses. They're going to be conference style. They're going to be keynotes. People like Arthur can you imagine Arthur and Carol getting together on one episode? My God, that would go on for days. That would go on for days. But you would be riveted the whole time. But you'd be eating your dinner in front of it, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, you would go twice. What a phenomenal, I can't wait to see that conversation. So we've got to lead up to the AI conference as well, where we have regular events every week. There's a Speak Up Monday. There's a social every Thursday, the social in Seminyak. So we'll be doing meetups there of all different persuasions, property, investment, and so on. So check that for details, entrepreneur community. And remember, it will culminate in the most amazing conference. Remember, like, if you're an entrepreneur, you're here in Bali, you got to get with AI. One way or the other, like, you got to understand it, see how that tool can impact your business to a very positive extent. Just have a look. Just start. As Bhavna said earlier on, over here, sorry, she would just want to start. How can you start? You can start by saying, what am I doing now that can be replaced using AI? And I just give it a try. It might be writing an article, not for the media, right? It might be writing a blog, for example, or it might be something else. I mean, Bhavna was saying about the storytelling. Carol's going to be doing her thing. Arthur's using virtual reality. I love you, Arthur, man. You're nuts, it's crazy. So there's so many different ways to use this. So just as I begin to sum up, I just want to thank everyone who's appeared on the show tonight, I won't mention all of them, but from how we started it, with obviously Wayne, original founder of the funding, Anastasio, myself, coming in, Tina, much more than that. She's a sister, right? And of course, the speakers, Arthur, Maria, incredible sister Bhavna, who's just rocking this whole AI movement. I'm so proud of you. When she started, honestly, had nothing. She was the one, as she said earlier on, I said, Bhav, you're going to do this. She's like, I don't know anything about AI. Not quite like that. Not quite like that. But I knew she would do it because she's brilliant, right? And then she took to it like a fish to water. So proud of you. And she just oozes confidence, calm, poise, beautiful speaker. So you're going to see a lot more of Bhavna Parihar. Now I've got goosebumps, going to cry. Okay, take a breath. To my Gotong Royong brothers, right? Mamma mia. Media, independent online, 1,000+ media outlets throughout Indonesia. Man, my brother Ketut, woo, my brother Sonny, like both of you, and the rest of the crew, thank you so much, because together, this is the beginning. And why I wanted you to meet the fellas as well is because you understand that they live and breathe entrepreneurism as well. Right? And that's what this whole point with the funding, it's all about that, right? How do we work together to create something great that we can all share in, right? That's it. Let's do it together. So, thank you to Tropical Nomad. Obviously, every week we're here, every Monday, called Speak Up Monday. That's why it's on the Monday. And Ichi, who's here, but obviously the crew, Guzman, Hadis, where's Ayu? Ayu, right over here. These people are phenomenal. And Tropical Nomad is an incredible space. I'm here just about every day. Don't tell the wife. Working. Incredible place and space. Great community, great aspect, great direction. That's why we're here. That's why we work together. So I'm wondering if I've left anybody out. Hopefully I haven't. Thank you to the audience for coming. Kyle, looking forward to seeing a lot more of you. My brother, you'll get your chance afterwards. Nav, pleasure. Brothers, sisters and brothers over here. Thank you very much. So without further ado, tickets, website is all coming this week. Yeah. So make sure you take the opportunity when it comes, because this one here, we only have 150, 170 spaces. It's not a lot. Right? Indonesians, foreigners coming together to learn, right? Take the opportunity. Don't miss it. You'll be so happy that you did. You're going to meet some incredible people, right? Some great networking. I think Gil Petersall is going to help us out as well with the networking. Incredible guy, global strategist. We're going to have people drop in that you would never expect, right? Who are extremely high level. And as Adrian said, right? If for nothing else, a lot of the people that we have speaking, like Maria, like Adrian, right? If you would book these guys, Arthur, book these guys one-on-one, for most people, they wouldn't be able to afford it. I'm not saying because, I'm just telling the truth, right? They're not in the range for most people. You pay a fraction of the cost to come and hang with these guys, right? And ask them all the questions, pester them, write the questions down, get their number, right? So you have access. That alone is worth the price of the ticket, right? Arthur just realized that he signed up for that. Yeah, man, access to you, brother, right? So just keep these things in mind. Really looking forward to it. Fellas, if there's anything else that you want to close with, feel free.
You want to say something?
Yeah, my brother. I was going to close, but I felt you wanted to say something. Yeah, and so you should.
Sebuah pengalaman yang menarik dan baru buat saya. Mungkin ke depan nanti dari percakapan tadi mungkin permasalahan pasti ada solusinya. Benar Abah? Ya. Yang penting bisa seperti kayak kata saya tadi, ketakutan itu hanya kita bisa hadapi dengan mengatasinya, itu aja kan. Jadi setiap masalah itu pasti ada penyelesaiannya, itu aja. Dan kami sebagai media kedepannya akan kawal terus dan menyuarakan terus apa yang menjadi program EI funding. Mungkin itu saja.
Okay, I will try my best. Okay, basically he said that, first thank you for this, for being here, for allowing him to be here. Then he addressed the topic on the bit on fear, right? That fear should be challenged, right? And there's always a solution for it.
Kami dari media akan ikuti terus menyuarakan sesuai apa yang menjadi program ya.
And the media here, right, will always be supporting this initiative.
Untuk mengawal semua program
for all the programs
Yeah.
which the AI conference will be holding and
Untuk
the funding.
pencapaian, apa yang menjadi tujuan AI funding. Kami siap menyuarakan.
To achieve the goals what the funding is trying to achieve, which is of course to bring foreigners and Indonesians together, and also be contributing, of course, the talent and foreign investment and foreign talent into the country.
Wonderful. I think we'll close it there. Gotong Royong, thank you so much.